Attention, owner-operators. Have a flatbed truck and looking for a load to haul? Try a third-party logistics provider specializing in flatbed freight. I am sure that all truckers that view my channel know about brokers, and they have differing opinions about them. But for the model collectors that may not know about the freight brokerage system, I want to give you a brief explanation about them before I get to the owner-operator Peterbilt 352 COE truck and flatbed trailer by DCP. But first, I'm going to talk about flatbed truck trailers. Flatbed trailers are selected when freight is not easily transported in an enclosed trailer due to its size or dimensions. Flatbed trailers allow for manual or crane loading and unloading from the top, back, and sides, making them a preferred choice for dimensionally challenged, time-sensitive deliveries or destinations without a loading dock. I follow a Polish driver on YouTube, Ilona Belichick, and she is a huge YouTuber with 359,000 subscribers. Ilona drives for TAG, a heavy haul company in Poland. She drives a Volvo COE and pulls an extendable flatbed trailer. She regularly hauls wind blades and other huge wind machine parts out to the windmill farms. When she has a wind blade on her rig, linked from the front of her cab to the back of her trailer is usually 185 feet, plus an overhang of the blade of another 30 feet. Her trailer also has remote steering axles to assist her in driving around corners. If you've never seen one of these trailers or wind blades being moved, I put a link to her channel in the description down below. Go on and check her out. In general, flatbeds have a fixed width of 8 foot 6 inches. The length is determined by the need. Average legally acceptable length ranges from 45 feet all the way up to 115 feet. There are exceptions for overlength, heavy haul, extended flatbed, and trailers having more than 3 axles. Legal load height is capped at 8 foot 6 inches, excluding the height of the trailer. There are exceptions for oversized, overdimensional, and heavy cargo as well. Acceptable weights for a 2-axle flatbed trailer are 45,000 to 48,000 pounds. Acceptable weights for a 3-axle trailer are 43,000 to 45,000 pounds. Acceptable weights for a 2-axle extendable flatbed are 40,000 to 42,000 pounds. And acceptable weights for a 3-axle extendable flatbed are 38,000 to 40,000 pounds. Of course, this is in the U.S. A good logistics broker will recommend the safest, most affordable flatbed trucking option for shipping the specific freight to be hauled. Depending on the load size, capacity, and delivery timeline, the broker will recommend one of several types of flatbeds to ship your cargo, such as tandem and tridem flatbeds, Conestoga truck trailers, or extendable flatbed trailers. The broker will arrange escort vehicles, obtain permits, and manage any customs processing needed, if necessary. The broker will plan the optimal route for shipping and arrange for any equipment needed to load or unload your cargo at pickup or delivery. Sounds great, doesn't it? That's awesome! All the arrangements made. All an independent operator has to do is show up with his rig on the date and time appointed to load and go. I doubt it's that simple, but wouldn't that be nice? A word about the Conestoga flatbed trailer. The Conestoga trailer, made by Aero Industries, features an innovative sliding tarp design that covers cargo without damage to the items underneath. No need to cover the load with tarps. The sliding tarp design covers the load, protecting the finish and moving parts. Access to the trailer is available from 3 sides, allowing easy loading and unloading. The system is designed for large items or loads, and that's what it is typically used for. The maximum freight weight for most Conestoga trailers is 42,000 to 45,000 pounds, with the length of a large trailer between 48 feet and 53 feet. As Conestoga tarp systems are used with standard flatbed trailers, the interior width is 8 foot 2 inches and the interior height is 8 feet.
This is the Peterbilt 352 86-inch bumper to back of cab, the single bunk Peterbilt 352 with a utility 48-foot tandem axle flatbed. The 48-foot flatbed is far more common than the 53s that we see. And it comes in the standard DCP by First Gear box. It's got the mural in the back, two-piece blister that's normally taped together, and very nice mural on the back. Now let's go on and open this guy up. 352s were such common trucks back in the day, as were old 48-foot flatbeds. Probably back then 45-foot or a 40-foot flatbed would have been cooler, but we got this one. Now before we open them up, I'm going to turn them around here. You can see how well this two-piece blister holds the truck in place. Being a flatbed, they were nice. They gave us an extra set of mirrors, which is standard for DCP, and they gave us actually some straps so that we could strap down whatever we put on them. I found that those straps aren't the greatest straps in the world because they just kind of plasticky and they're elasticy, but they don't last so much and then they just kind of dry out and snap. So what I do is I usually make my own straps out of beading cord, elastic beading cord. It works great. This is their utility 48-foot flatbed. This might possibly be the last true DCP tooling that came out right before the merger, and it's definitely the last flatbed that they came out with. You can see it has tandem axles. Underneath it has nice black frame rails with the silver deck. It has marker lights on it. The sides, standard screw down type landing gear with square pads, and it's got a crank on the landing gear. It has a headache rack up there. Turn him up, you can see it's got the aluminum deck with some black bands and some wood straps, some wood strips down it. Really nice detail on these trailers, and you can rub your hand across it and feel all the little ribs. Turning them underneath, you can see the bottom of the deck is silver. It has mount places for other sets of mud flaps based on the axle configuration they want to put on here. Each wheel is tin-hole chrome with soft rubber tires. There's air brake canisters on each axle. And instead of one piece for the tandem, each one is its own piece actually. The kingpin for the fifth wheel is just your standard little straight kingpin. It's also a little short on this one. And then you can see it has a date, 2/84/19. So 284th day of 2019, meaning this trailer came out near the end, meaning this truck came out near the end of 2019. Also, you can see it has a utility tampo here, that's a decal, a utility logo for the decal, and it has a little decal up here that has little warning signs. Their decals are not tampos. Round to the back, it has utility branded mud flaps, and they're white. The utility logo there. 3 required clearance lights in the middle, and you got your 3 brake lights on each side. It's also little black rubber bumpers to back into a dock. And then there's the rear bumper on the trailer. Round to the passenger side of this trailer, guess what? Same as the driver's, only there's no crank on the landing gear. To the front, you can see the landing gear there. You can also see the front of the headache rack, or the bulkhead, and you can see decals for warning signs and other things here. Also, there's a little turn marker light on each corner, and the marker lights are tampos, but the little warning badges are decals. Pretty nice the way they do stuff like that. Now let's set the trailer aside and pull up the tractor. The 352 is a very common tractor, but most of the time they run them as the 110-inch or the double bunks. But this is the 86-inch single bunk, which makes for a much shorter tractor. And personally, I kind of think it looks better with that little single bunk. But that's my personal preference. It's white with orange and blue striping on it. Interesting pattern. It has chrome fuel tanks, chrome quarter fenders with a little black rubber piece painted black on top. It has mud flaps with chrome brackets. The mud flaps are white. 10-hole chrome wheels with soft rubber tires on each one. This does not have the curly Q step goofy thing. This has just the single grab bar, which is much more durable, even though the other is probably more sought after. These are less likely to break. The other ones have a bad tendency of breaking. There's a step there on the battery box. The Peterbilt logo right there underneath the door. Little vent and the door latch are tampoed in silver, as is the door handle. And the upper sleeper vent. Mirrors are chrome, and that grab bar is chrome. Round to the front, you can see it has a chrome tapered bumper with white tampo painted driving lights in it. Individual jewel style headlights in chrome brackets in the headlight pods. Chrome grille. Peterbilt logo. Very nice tampo on that Peterbilt logo. The grab bars and the windshield wipers are tampoed onto the cab. They're molded into and tampoed silver. The center, it has individual front windshields. Instead of two pieces with a tampo, it's actually got a die-cast center bar. Now the little window over here to the sides on each one is part of the main window, and the divider bar is tampoed black along with the grille, along with the gasket outline. You can see the stripes that curve down, very classic of the 70s, where's them stripes that curve down on the front of the cab. It has two turn signals mounted on each side of the cab. Up to the top, you can see the chrome visor, rooftop air conditioner, individual piece, bullet style roof lights. They're chrome plated with a little amber orange paint on the front for the amber lenses, and two chrome air horns on top. They also painted the little fan grill black on the air conditioner, leaving the rest of it white. Really nice. Interior of this truck is black with dark gray steering wheel. Black seats, black dashboard, and dark gray steering wheel. Over here on the passenger side, it's got that extra mirror by the door so the driver can see. The grab bar, turn signal, mirror, visors, the loop step because there's no battery box over here, so it has that wire loop step, which is a plastic piece. Be careful with it. You could break it easily. Chrome fuel tank, chrome quarter fenders, chrome wheels. Single exhaust with a 45 miter cut on the top. Muffler, and that single exhaust. Around to the back. Peterbilt branded white mud flaps. Trailer had utility branded white mud flaps, but the tractor has Peterbilt branded. The whole thing is chrome plated, then they paint the mud flaps white and then tampo on the Peterbilt. That way you have your chrome brackets. You can see two brake lights there. Fifth wheel has a deck plate that's diamond plate and airlines, electric lines right there for the trailer on a pogo stick. Then you can see just the single back of cab. This truck doesn't even have a air intake, a high mount air intake, which was very common of cab overs. But a lot of them guys would just run just a single stack and made them as light as possible. Great idea. Underneath, this is the real short chassis because it's got the short cab, white engine, black transmission, drive shaft from the trans to the first axle, drive shaft from the first to the second, air brake canisters, working suspension. You see the air tanks there. And then you can see it has spring front suspension and positionable. There's your air intake, your air cleaner. It's painted black on this one. Turning the cab up, we'll go in and open him up because this cab tilts. Now you can see the stack is mounted to the cab and it just sets down into the little hole. That's the way the real ones did, but be careful when you set it back down because it might miss that hole because this plastic is a little more flexible than the real trucks. But anyway, you can see the beautiful detailed 6-cylinder turbocharged engine, exhaust coming into the turbo, piping down to the air intake and then back to the engine. Up front you can see the radiators up there, radiator hoses, and I was wrong about the interior color. It's actually brown, real dark brown. So it almost looks black, but it's real dark brown. You can only see it because underneath. Now the Pete 352s, you need to be real careful how you pick them up because if you pick them up with a cab, they have a tendency to do that. And if it's got enough fall, it'll pull the cab right off because of the way they mount their cab overs is not permanent. It just goes over a piece and clips in place and can come right off. And I don't want you to break your trucks. So be careful how you pick up these trucks. Now let's go on and hook him up. To do that, I need to put this landing gear up. Just a couple of twists and it goes right up. And I probably put it further up than you really need to hitch it to the truck. But in transport mode, they raise them up pretty high so they don't ground out. Now we'll get them hitched up. And there you go. Isn't that sharp? What about that paint job? What do you guys think of that? Let me know. I'm not so sure about the orange and the blue going together. I kind of think maybe it should have been like red and blue or blue and blue. But let me know, what are your thoughts? That's the 86-inch single bunk Peterbilt 352 cab over engine with utility 48-foot flatbed that made by DCP by First Gear.
I've got a great idea for a building on our dioramas. A freight brokerage company. That way all the owner-operators on our layout can get loads to haul. DCP trucks are available on my website, farmtoysandmore.com. So head over there and shop till you drop. Also, to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please smash that like button, tap the subscribe button to become a 64th Gear Jammer, and share this video with your friends and followers. I'm Logan, the 64th Gear Jammer Skeele, the founder of Advantage Diecast, and I'll be back in the warehouse soon with another episode of Toy Talk.